It's Thursday, Wiggler Wednesday has unfortunately concluded, but this means we have a tier list today. As I said, I'd wait a day and then do the tier list to get my full impression on the tracks after playing them about God knows how many times. It was the only thing I was doing yesterday, pretty much, for most of the day. Playing it, trying them online, offline, time trials, playing with my mum. Jesus Christ, I've gotten the full experience. Those are the characters are fucking cool. For Wave 5. Wave 5 decides the most content we're getting in a wave because three whole characters. That's half the characters we're getting. Which I think there's only 2 left, of course, which are Diddy Kong and Pauline. But yeah, it's very cool to have such a variety of characters. Fantastic picks too, by the way. Like perfect picks currently. Like the first one we picked was perfect. Now it is Diddy Kong, and the last character can literally be anyone else, right? The roster's complete once Diddy Kong's there. It's a complete roster. It's so good. But yeah, I just love it. Wiggler. I like when he gets angry. They all have unique horns. Very charming. I like how the Peach Parasol actually changes colour for Kamek and Wiggler. I don't know why it does that, but I appreciate it because I really like that glider, and it's just a shame that it doesn't. It only changed orange and blue for Rosaline and Daisy and their baby variants, but now Wiggler and Kamek too. So that's fun. Of course, this video focus on the tracks, which I do love the characters. The characters, if we rank them, they all go in S tier. They're fantastic. But before we get to the Wave 5 tracks, we are going to make changes, I feel, to this list. And it's the reason why I decided not to do it at the end of each year. I might as well just do it per wave, because then I can make amendments as we go along. Because opinions change. So, yeah, we got the whole selection here. Wave 5 down there. We'll do it in order of Cup. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some of these tracks, some of these picks. Because, yeah, we're working with 3 tiers, mind you. Because that's the thing. There's 3 categories, I feel. There is simple but still good tracks at the bottom here. Then there's just great tracks that's self-explanatory. And then there's these perfect tracks, the best. So good. And I'm surprised I haven't put Maple Treeway in the best. I kind of prefer the Coconut Mole these days. I'll just throw it up. That's the first change I'd make. Yeah, we'll go for top to bottom. Everything else in the top tier I kind of stand by. VS Rain Road, I mean, it's not a shortcut or anything. It's up there purely for aesthetic. But that's not true because it's a fun race, of course. But like if we're talking about pure racing, I'd prefer other tracks. But yeah, thematically it's up there. And Yoshi Island is the perfect blend of like perfect theme and just perfect racing. That's why it's the best track in the franchise. It really is. It's so good. So that's why that's at the top. Oh, so I'll keep 3S Rain Road up there. Again, some of these stuff might be interchangeable, but you go in order. So here is the best, down here is the weakest. I don't like how this weird avatar goob is looking at me. Let's close that. Anyway, Mushy George, fucking perfect track. Like it is the perfect version of Mushroom Gorge. It literally combines Wii and 7, and I think that's really cool. DK Summit, this was one of the ones that I never really cared for on the Wii originally, but I really wanted it back because it was perfect. It suits 8 looks perfectly. You know, the anti-grav half pipes, you know, making our appearance finally. Like this would be very stand out because of it, and it's so good. So yeah, Rock Mountain underrated. Shroom Ridge 2 kind of already does it. The lap changing gimmick is just one justifies being up here, and Highway's grey. We tracks Amsterdam's Vest City. Not currently, but before Wave 5, I've got a new favourite. I'll just say that. So, great tier. I'd probably change some of this. I don't know. I put 3 wave 4 tracks at the top. That seems like recency bias of that wave. Because I'll be honest, the Boomerang Cup, like Wave 4 is fantastic. The Fruit Cup is by far the best cup in the game. But the Boomerang Cup, I mean, it's always going to struggle being a cup that has 2 city tracks in it. Of course, not to diss the city tracks individually, but it means there's less variety and also there's a circuit track. But I'd say the circuit track is my favourite track, and it's down here. So I think we need to move these 3 tracks. They're all in the Boomerang Cup, I think. Yeah, they are, because Amsterdam's in the Fruit Cup. Okay. Right. So, I mean, I think I put Singapore or Bangkok. I feel like Sydney and Singapore stay together. I like them both equally. Bangkok was like one that I thought would be like my favourite. It hasn't really been that. It's still good. I think there's some really cool stuff. Some really cool stuff going on. But I don't know, it doesn't really click with me. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'd probably move it down. I don't know how far. Actually, I just thought Snowland. Snowland's top tier. It is top tier. I cannot deny that any longer. It's so good. It probably is up here, man. It's probably like behind Shroom Ridge. You make an argument for being higher than Shroom Ridge. Like, that is such a perfect GBA remake. That 100% goes in the best. Bangkok. I don't know. I might leave it there for now. I don't know. Or do I could bring it down. I mean, do I prefer to Mary Mountain? I don't know. I'm not sure. We put it at the bottom with the other tour tracks, I feel. I'll do that for now. And I'll think about it. The tour tracks I feel hard to rank, and it feels like I pair them together often. And I don't like doing that because they are distinct. Yeah, they are distinct tracks individually, but they do feel like they blend together. It's a hard one to describe. Because they have the lap changing gimmick, they're all stand-up tracks regardless. But yeah, ones that are more just a regular city road. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Well, I'll come back to it. Sky Garden or I think I had Riverside Park at the front before. I don't know. I prefer Riverside for sure. Mario Circuit. I kind of want to move it up. DS Mario Circuit is way better than it has any right to be. It's such a forgettable DS track. No one was fucking talking about DS Mario Circuit. And it was the last DS track when people wanted Airship Fortress, Delfino Square, Luigi's Mansion. We just got this. So it's like, okay, right, that's not a good pick. But holy shit, it probably plays better than all 3 of those tracks, if I'm being honest. That's why it's above Waluigi Pinball. It plays better than Waluigi Pinball. Of course, though, even the feelings is nice. It's very chill. I like the forest section they added. I could move it up. I could. I don't know. I think at the end we'll look back on it. I think we'll leave great tracks as is. I feel like there is stuff I changed there though. In solid tracks, I prefer Paris to New York. Paris. Okay, so Paris is like the simplest one in terms of lap changes. I feel because it doesn't change until the last lap, and then it just goes backwards. But I do really like it. But yeah, a solid tier is like probably the best fit for Paris. So I won't move it much higher, but I do really enjoy that track. Oh yeah, and everything else is fine. Total Circus better than Mario Circuit 3, which is apparently a hot take, but it is. and Tokyo Blur is above these two circuit tracks just because it has the lap changing gimmick. That helps it stand out. If it didn't have that, then yeah, no, it was fucking suck. I know not many people like it anyway. I think it's fine. It's okay. So yeah, we'll get on to wave 5 tracks now. Sorry, it took 10 minutes and I'm not even conclusive about my changes. But we still have Athens Dash, and this is definitely a top 3 track for sure. It's fantastic. I really like how it's a really standout theme because it's not just in like a city, because you're going for all like these like this Colosseum, you're going for all these like ancient ruins, I guess, like various stuff, and it's really cool. It's very standout. I'm trying to sell it's crazy. Like stuff you're driving across pillars, you're going up these stairs, you're taking a glider on like this mountainside thing, then you go back to the last up, and there's boulders dropping down like DK Pass, and there's like a fucking shortcut through a cave, and there's like some crazy ass like shortcut that I don't think was intentional. I think they forgot to put visible balls somewhere. It's such a crazy track, and I really like it. I really do. I don't know if again, this is probably too interchangeable. But right now, and it might be recency bias, but I'd probably put Athens Dash over Amsterdam Drift. It's real good, for sure. And we're poking up the best here. I think it deserves a lot of tracks in top tier. I feel that's justified, for sure. Daisy Cruiser, and this is another one that's going straight to the top. My God. Feather Cup is stacked, man. So Daisy Cruiser, I mean, there's not much to say about this one. If you've seen my Series 4 where I covered all the tracks, all versions of them in all games, that series I did, then, I pretty like Daisy Cruiser. It's more on the simple side, it's still good. And by the way, that list, that's why the tiers are like this. Because it's the same structure, basically. It would, if we could combine lists, they would slot somewhere amongst the others of that list. So that's where the tiers go. And it doesn't go any lower because Beneath Solid is like I can't remember. Was it meh? I can't remember. But yeah, I think there's like 2 tracks in it. There's no tracks in the DLC that would go in meh, basically. I think I'm positive on all of them. And that's why. I just feel the tier list format is still the best way to rank these. But yes, Daisy Cruiser, it's the 7 version. It's the 7 version. It's a faithful recreation, which 7's version was a faithful recreation. It was a Double Dash one, except now you can drive into the pool, obviously, because underwater stuff. And the under the deck, it's now flooded, which is really cool. Doesn't really make sense, but yeah, I like it. It's cool. And because you can hold 2 items in a Deluxe, that split path feels way more justified, because the other way you can't get 2 boxes. Anyway, you get multiple boxes. You go through the shell, you get a box, and then you can get a double box out of the cannon thing. So yeah, the reason to go that way because it's fundamentally a slower route, but yeah, it's good because of the item stuff. So that there is a reason to go there. I like that. Deluxe does a good job at like justifying any like alternative path or whatnot. Like everything has a purpose of some sort. Like half pipes, they have a purpose. Like it's really good. The only real change to track major size visual stuff, which means it's very faithful. The other thing is that there's a lot more life to the cruise ship, and I mean that in the sense that there's more like NPCs about. Which, especially in the DLC, I feel like there's a lot of like Yoshi, Shy Guys, whatever going around, and I think this is the track that has benefited the most. You have like the Goombas, the Gumballs, in the floaties, in the pool, which is fucking adorable, and then in the dining hall area where the tables move, You just got people sat on their chairs at the tables, and it's so funny. The tables, I feel they move faster than previous games too, so I feel like they're more of an obstacle. It's just a really well-made track. It's more on the simple side, but it's such a good theme, and it still plays fantastically. So I think it's top tier for sure. Where would I put it? Yeah, I'd probably put it over Coconut Mall. I don't know if I'd put it over Maple Treeway. Leave it there. I think it's on the lowest side because it is quite simple. Yeah, there's no shortcuts. There's the ultimate path, which helps, but yeah, there's no like off road. There's nothing like that. It's just a really charming and fun race. So yeah, again, we're two through it. We're two in, and that's two in the best. So this is going to be a good wave. Now, Moonview Highway. This is not in the best tier. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. And that's why I want to give it time, because my initial reaction was, I thought it was a really meh course, and to an extent, I kind of still feel that way. I'm ignoring the fact that the context for this track being here is it replaced a scrapped nitro track that would have been Wave 6. And that fact is annoying, because why would you add another Wii track? Meaning we'll have 10 Wii tracks, because Wii Rain Road is seemingly coming now that we know which track Mewtwo High replaced. So I think fundamentally this is a bad pick. Probably one of the worst tracks to choose in DLC. It's not even the right Wii track to pick. I think Tri-Dry Ruins is a much more standout track, personally, compared to the other tracks in this game, or the city tracks, Toad's Turnpike, Shroom Ridge. Mew doesn't really stand out. I mean, we might just be getting Mushroom Bridge as well. I hope it doesn't mean we don't get Mushroom Bridge, but I don't know anymore. I'm over here discussing what this all means. Regardless, I'm not going to dock points away from the track for that, but it might be why I'm a bit care. I don't really care much for this track. I don't know if that's actually affecting it. I'm not sure. That might be it. And by Wave 6, I might put it higher. But I really did want to give this one a fair chance. Because it's one that on the Wii, I never cared for it then. And when I realized, okay, I'm interested to try it. And I tried it. I don't feel it's got a justified placement here. Of all tracks, oh, you got a free slot for any track. Airship Fortress, 3DS track, they're just wrapping. Again, it doesn't have any of the track, and you just pick a Wii track. So that clearly annoys me. But even then, it's just individually as a track, it's good. It's good. It's a good track, but I don't think it's great or anything. And so it's something a low, lower down. I feel. I'm not sure specifically where. It's probably above solid. It might be bottom of great. Because it is a great track. I like the ramps. I like how you try with the sideward. I like that valley bit. I like how there's a lot of corners you cut, and the bomb cars really add a lot. That's a very unique thing with this track. They added these bomb cars, which if you drive into, they just explode like a bomb. I think that's really cool, and it makes it one of the most difficult tracks in the game. Actually, I saw people saying, "Oh, they made this game too easy." Not a game. This track too easy. No, they didn't. They just made the cars not on crack. It's not like there's a lack of cars either. There's plenty, and turning corners you always hit. I've hit bomb cars a bunch. There is a genuine challenge to this track, and I think that's what the track was going for. And I respect that. I think it did that. It did its job. And you go into the city theme, and it's got different music. And, that's all cool. The dash panels, you're basically just... It's a flat section. And it just sees all these dash panels on the road. And turns out they actually change places between races. It's like how Excite Bike Arena has the ramps change places. I didn't notice, and that's why I'm glad I gave this some time. I didn't know about this until this morning. I think that's a really nice thing. Yeah, you just go for the dash panels, trying to avoid the traffic. It's like very fast paced, and I like the toll booths. I like how there's not Mii's in it anymore. I've learned of a thing, me erasure, of people going, oh, there's not Mii's in the background of this Wii track. Do these people realise that there were Mii's on all the Wii tracks? And that's because it was on the Wii. So there's no reason for them to be carried over. I don't know why people are so shocked whenever there's not a Mii when this is our 9th Wii track and they haven't featured Mii's in the background because they're not Mario characters. It's fucking weird. It is so weird. So yeah, that for sure doesn't bother me. I'd be more bothered if there were Mii's. Fuck Mii's. Yeah, it looks good. I do think the city, though, it kind of blends like, say, a New York Mini. Again, when you've got all these city tracks, picking a city in course, that's a big concern of mine. When racing it, it does stand out, though. But even then, I still feel that they're much more stand-up picks. Again, that doesn't dock points from it, but that's why I'm kind of like sour on this edition. Because I don't agree with it, but it's a good track. It's undeniably a good track. I put over London, for sure. I would. Another track is Berlin, actually. Berlin, I probably prefer just because of lap changing stuff. I mean, if it feels kind of short, I don't know. I guess it's because of how fast you go through the dash panels in the city bit, and then it's over. You just have the valley bit, and like the city, and like they're two good bits, but I don't know. It feels like it's missing something. It's faithful to the original. It is, and that's what most Wii tracks are. It's not really missed out anything, right? It's a track I know especially cared for. So a faithful recreation of it means there's nothing that particularly stands out to me. I can get why people would like it though, and I do like it. But I mean, like, people have been calling it like one of the best tracks of DLC, and yeah, that's fair. I think this is one that definitely its place definitely depends on your taste. I think the people who bash on the track though, I don't know what their point is about the cars. I don't know what they're on about. It feels like every time there's like a vehicle like moving vehicle course, people complain about the vehicles. Like they're fine. They're fine in this game. You got the bomb cars. That's what you need. I like how they had the skateboard ramp cars as well. That's always a nice thing to see. I know Shroom Ridge did the same thing. So yeah, overall, I am positive on this track for sure. The thing I'm negative about is just its placement, and that does not affect its ranking. I just think it's ranking like there's so many great tracks, and this one falls lower down for me personally. But yeah, it's a good track. I'm. It's nice to see it for sure. Not a pick I would have made, but yeah, I'm still positive on it. Again, it might grow on me as time goes by. For sure. I mean, when I learned that, the dash panels changed, I was like, oh, this is definitely more going on than I thought it did. So yeah, I do like it. It's hard to explain, because it does feel like something missing, and I don't know how to describe why. Just I guess it ends quickly. I don't know. We'll move on to the next one. Again, I don't only want to visit this area. But right now, I don't think I'd put it above any tracks here. I don't think. So yeah, Squeaky Clean Sprint, and this is another top tier track. The Feather Cup, all top tier except Moonview. Like, fantastic. Cup. Fantastic wave. Squeaky Clean Sprint is such a good one. I'll put it above Maple Trio. I don't know if it goes above Ninja Hideaway. I'm not sure. But it's definitely in the top 3 of the new tracks, Ninja Hideaway and Yoshi's Island. It's definitely not up there. It's definitely not as good as Yoshi's Island, but man, it's so good. When I saw the data line of rumors of this bathroom track, I was like, that sounds like a shit theme. Boy, I was wrong. I was so wrong. They really went with like the Ribbon Road route. It's probably better than Ribbon Road, which is crazy. But like, because that was like a kid's bedroom, this is now a bathroom. and just the mess of things. Like you go through your sink and you drop down and you go up this ramp, you go into the bathtub. There's a bunch of like Easter eggs. It's like such a good theme. They did it perfectly, and the track itself is very engaging. I just for the aesthetics, but like a lot of sections, you got the sink bit leads to the bathroom, not the bathroom, the bath. You're in the bath. It's stuff like if you go on the left side, you can land on some sponges, and you can trick these like bath bombs, I think they are, and you can move them about. Like they move freely in the tub, and it's like a big space. Like you can just bounce them around. I thought that was really cool. That was great attention to detail. But yeah, you can just like say a bomb hits them, it like bounces them away, and to my knowledge they stay there. They stay wherever they're moved, and I think that's so cool. It's a little thing, but I think that's such a standout thing because you can trick off like the whatever thing they're spewing out. You can trick off it. Gives them extra speed as you land in the tub, and then you go down the plug, you go down the drain. And that's actually really cool. There's some buffer stuff. It's like a tight like pipe bit, so it's kind of chaotic. And when you come out, you're on like the bathroom floor, I guess. It's like soap on the ground. There's like off road. It's so creative. There's a fan that's on because I don't know, and it physically blows your carried away. There's so many unique ideas in this track. And then there's a half pipe as well. Like it has everything. You take glider, and you glide over a toilet. If you get hit when you're going that, you actually fall in the toilet. Like you picture after you fall in the toilet, and it makes like a big splash sound. So that's so fun. That's such a fun detail. You get hit into the toilet. And on lap 2, it starts spewing out toilet water. If you trick off the toilet, like water geyser, then it propels you high enough to land on the upper section of it. And this is lap 2 and 3 only. And then you do some turns, and there's like another glider. And from there, there's like 3 different paths you can go if you have the glider. As well as tricking off a bunch of stuff, like you can trick off the tap, like a bottle of soap. There is so much to this track. It is insane. It's so good, and when I think of it, maybe it does go above Ninja Hideaway. I don't know. I think they both nailed their themes. Maybe Speaking Stone has more going on. I mean, it has like off-road cuts, and I don't know. Go on. We'll put the funny bathroom track above the Ninja Temple. It's so good. It really is. This exceeded all my expectations. It's a great new track. So that was a great cup. Obviously, I'm less keen on Mewtwo Highway. Still a good track, of course. And Cherry Cup, also pretty good. 2 other standout tracks, I feel. And 2 not so much, but 5 out of whatever, I'll take that. Because I think the tracks that like I really like, and they're all going in the top tier. So I've got 3 tracks in top tier. This might be the most, I don't want to spoil where I'm going to put stuff, but it might be the most tracks in it. So maybe it is the best wave for tracks. I don't know. Because my mind is like, wave 4 is the best tracks, but I don't even know if I think that, because I thought of wave 3, and I was like, I don't know. Even wave 1's up there for me. They've all just got such a fantastic variety of tracks. So yeah. Anyway, Los Angeles laps. My complaint is it doesn't end this cup, which doesn't really matter. But I'd swap with Vancouver, and we'll get to Vancouver, of course, at the end. And that's because this is a section track. And if you know me, you know I love me some section tracks. It gives me like Woohoo Island track vibes. Of course, they are the OG section tracks. And what a section track is, basically each lap's completely distinct because you go from one bit and the finish line's a completely different area. So it's just like a big 1 lap thing, big blue, N64 Rainbow Road, stuff like that. Now, of course, the lap changing thing is a thing of all tour tracks. but this one is literally completely different each track, except like at the end, I think, because you like overlap like this crossing at like certain bits to go into new areas. So it is just like each lap is completely distinct, and there's just so much to cover with this one. I mean, you start off on Sport, you go on to Speech. There's a half pipe there. There's like you can trick out these skate ramps. It's so cool. You can even go in the water a bit, but don't go too deep or else you're gonna get carried out. You go and then you head into the road. There's so much. You go under a bridge for lap 2, and then you like glide over a stadium, and there's even some off-road like little shortcuts when you drive through the city. And the city environment is much more standard because you have stuff like just gliding through a stadium during it. It's a much more standout theme because, as I mentioned, these tracks are standout to me. But when the city tracks are just you're driving in a city, you know, like rather than like a distinct location, like for example the beach that you just drove through, you know, laps. Like it's that's when it kind of blends together in my mind. But yeah, the city location is just very standout in this game, I feel. And then the last time, it's got these hammers that are falling down. I don't know what they are. Sorry, I don't know what they are. But it's a good obstacle. There's like different paths you can take. There's a glide ramp, which is just like probably pretty OP actually, because you can get these like rings. You can glide over the obstacles. You get these rings that give you speed. And if you get in the middle, you get an iron box. So very good glide ramp there. And you land back in the city. And it's basically just a drive to the finish line, which is back race style, like going to the boardwalk. It's fantastic. It is the best city track. Where have I just moved this from? I think there. I think yes. Maybe. I prefer trucking around to Peach Cars actually. Actually, do I? We're not changing it. We're not changing it now. I'm getting distracted. Sandy Snaps. It's the best city track for sure. It's so good. It's so good, Ian. But I'll put over Coconut Mall. Go on. I don't know what putting over Daisy Cruiser. I don't know, but yeah, it's so good. I really do like it. Of course, I love the sex track, but like the theming is fantastic. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's lots of shortcuts. It's the perfect city track, and I can't believe it's not talked about enough. I know people like really like Vancouver Velocity. I don't get it personally. I don't think it's bad. We'll get to Vancouver, but I think this is a much more standout city in the Cherry Cup personally. So. Yeah, it's my favorite, and I can't see that getting top because being a section track, it's just so perfect. The music they changed a lot because they had like the bars that people call them, and it's now just like a saxophone, which sounds better. At first, I was like, no, they should have done that, but it's so much better. And when you listen to the original Maps music, there's just a bunch of like these fucking random noises. like it's kind of painful. So yeah, I prefer the remix. I do prefer the remix. Yeah, just a perfect track. And another thing people complain about, it's daytime now. It looks better that way, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the sun's setting or not. I'll tell you what does matter though. The Skybox, Sunset Wilds. And it's not going to affect its placement, honestly. Even if the sky did change, I feel. Or maybe it would. Maybe I wouldn't. I'd be like more positive on it and recently biased for it higher. But reasonably, I think it's here. I think it's in solid, where I don't have to do for a Wave 4 track. But yeah, Sunset Wilds. It's a simple GBA remake. Models on a bootleg, so I put it behind bootleg. You know, I probably prefer the theming of Sunset Wilds. Like I really like how it's in the desert. It's an explorer thing, which I very much respect. How they reworked the Shy Guys because they were like Native American stereotypes. They were very cute because they'd like cling on to you if you like drove into their tents. They don't do it works differently because that wouldn't work in a 3D game. But yeah, it's very funny. Oh yeah, but they changed it regardless. They changed it to like an explorer theme. You got these ones, these like archaeologists or whatever. I mean, this one here is a pickaxe. One has like a shovel. I don't know what the other one has, but there's like three of them just like dancing around. And I think they do hum to the music. I'm not sure. The music's fantastic, by the way. It changes each lap as well, I think. So that's really cool. I mean, lap two, it's like you're like playing fucking Red Dead Redemption 2. Like it shouldn't go as hard as it does. But yeah, I really like that theming. Of course, the main aesthetics of the theme, though, was that the sun sets, and the sunset ain't wilding, fellas. It doesn't change. We've learned that with 8's engine, just because it's an engine from... it's a decade-old engine, because that's how long this game's been going on for. This means it doesn't... for whatever reason, it can't handle dynamic skyboxes. Not that you can't have the transitional animation of the sky. You can implement that. But you can't change the lighting. The lighting is set in areas of the track. It could be different in parts, like say you got in a cave section, of course, it's going to be more dimly lit. But the lighting can't just change in spots over the course of a track. It has to be set. And that's seemingly why the skybox doesn't change, which I made a whole video on why it would change. I was wrong. And it is disappointing. Of course, it's a visual thing, but that was like the main thing. Like oh my god, the time of day changes. I mean, Boo Lake here, it got foggier each lap in the original. That's nothing, which kind of glad. I don't really care for that. But yeah, the sunset, which looks fantastic in this game. You see the setting sun as you cross the finish line in the distance. It looks great. But yeah, it doesn't change. I didn't expect it to turn to like Twilight for lap 2. I liked Tour where it had like the transition where you see like the purple sky at the Twilight part of the original, and then it would just go to night. I thought we'd do that in like the middle of lap 2. But no, but it doesn't change at all. Which I feel like everyone's reaction when first playing track is, oh, the sun doesn't set, what the fuck? And that's definitely harmed a lot of people's opinions on it. I can look past it, but even then, I don't think it gets much higher because it is a very simple GBA track compared to other GBA remakes. It's a lot more flat. There is elevation and stuff that can trick off like these dash panels. I do like the mud. Where it's basically like off-road. I don't know if it's so nice, especially when you can't drift. I don't know, but it's quite unique. And because of, there's a lot of off-road, and I like this with Wing Courses, there's a lot of off-road so you can just mushroom through wherever. There's like one specific ramp hidden behind like a tent where the Shy Guys are, which they're actually a good obstacle. They're just like dancing around in the middle where those tents are. And they're quite big. They're big boys. And if there's a lot of races around, you can definitely get hit by them. I have a few times. So they are an effective obstacle, I'd say. And a unique one. I don't think we had Shy Guys as an obstacle before in this game. We've had the minor Shy Guys, but they're just like background ones. So yeah, I don't think this is new. I think that's very stand out. And it helps the theming a lot. Of course, if we didn't have any Shy Guys in the sun didn't set, this would be such an empty track. But I think that helps it a lot. The overall it's just quite simple. The layout's fine. I like the two ramps at the end, although they were supposed to happen when the time of day changes. That's why they were there in Tour. But it's quite intense because you have this one turn to the finish line. It's like you can cut through it and you're driving over the hills. Like a lot happens at the end, I feel. It can get a bit chaotic. So yeah, I think it's very enjoyable, especially online. I feel it's much more enjoyable online. You just race on your own. And you haven't especially got much competition. No offense to the CPU. Then yeah, it's going to be like, well, this is quite simple, whatever. And yeah, due to its simplicity, I will put it in solid tier. I think the fact that the sun doesn't set, I think people are being too harsh on the track. They're not looking at the track itself. They're looking up. They're looking at the sky. Why doesn't it change? It's not good. I can't defend it. Like of course we have the reasoning, but then I can't defend the pick. I can't defend the track pick. It's a fan favorite Super Circuit track for sure. But if you take out that main gimmick, then obviously the people who are like massive fans of that track, they're going to be upset. Now, personally, it doesn't bother me a crazy amount, but it is definitely disappointing. It docks points, but it doesn't affect its placement, I don't feel. I feel it's definitely on the simpler side, regardless, of course. I don't think a changing skybox would impact that, but it would make it a lot more like appreciative. I wouldn't really have much negatives to say, because it being simple isn't a bad thing. It's just why it's lower down in the list. Again, solid tier is not bad. This does not mean you're a bad track. So yeah, I don't know. It's nice. I'd like to see it get changed, but with the information that like they can't change the lighting, I assume they can't, and that's why they didn't do it in the first place. I mean, the transitions in Tour, so they would have done it if they could have. Now, again, that doesn't really defend it, because then you get the argument of why did you pick that track in the first place? But yeah, I mean, the other GA tracks thing is a GBA Battlecast include with SNES Battlecast coming. I don't think we need one. Yoshi Desert, that's a party one if you want a desert track this wave. That could have been the better pick. I've seen the tour version, and that version actually kind of looks more simple than this one, so I don't know. Regardless, I'm happy to have Sunset Wilds, for sure. The music's fantastic, and the theming is still good, despite the sun not setting. So yeah, it's a shame, but it's still a good track, I feel. Next, Cooper Cape. Here's another one where I actually have some aesthetic criticism of, which I usually don't with the DLC, because I actually prefer the tour art style to Base 8 Deluxe. I know, like of course it's more impressive visually, the base game stuff, but I prefer the cartoonish art style because it's Mario. I feel that suits it more than trying to be realistic, personally. But yeah, Cooper Cape, I mean, this one isn't even to do with the visuals, really. It's just, like the visuals of the graphics. It's just to do with, like, some design stuff. Which, this isn't surprising, so I was really disappointed by it, but there's no Cooper signs. I don't mind the ads not being there. I mean, one of them's a red shell ad anyway, so it still fits. And those little billboard things. What does bother me is there's no Cooper face on the cliffside when you start the race. The little Cooper looking down to telling you to enter his little cave, and there's just nothing there. So it doesn't really stand out. It's just like a little cave bit. It's a random one. The floor deck is kind of weird. It's not bad. It's just kind of weird. They changed it to be like this greyish thing, and it kind of looks a bit dull, especially in like the dark lighting when you're in the cave. So yeah, it just felt like it lost a bit of life in that bit. But it plays very well. It plays really good. If you don't know, this is my favourite Wii track. It's my favourite Wii track from the original and the 7 remake too. I actually do prefer the tunnels after the Wii version. I just got to my next criticism actually. This plays just like the Wii version. They got the half pipes. They took up the glide ramp, which I'm kind of impartial to. I don't especially mind it, but I in both ways, in both having or not having the glider. The tunnel's anything that's different, and it's the 4th version of it because it's not the tour one. It's just this new anti-grav tunnel, which I really like, and it still has a half pipe, which is why I really wanted it to be the half tunnel, so you could have the half pipes at the top. Because Tour's version, you trick off the thing, and you leap out the water, and it's such a cool thing. And I was like, I really want to see this, and it looks. And I saw the half pipes, I was like, yes, get in. But every time I've done the half pipe, you don't go high enough to get out the water. So yeah, it kind of loses that. It's still cool. There's a lot of stuff in the like underwater in like the background. You got like the eel from Mario 64. There's like scuba diver toads watching you. There's a lot of cheap. Like there's some cool stuff. But yeah, that did disappoint me. And it's not like tour where there's half pipes everywhere, which I don't mind. It's just this one bit. The half pipe adds a lot to that tunnel section, I feel. Another thing they removed, this might not have been a tour version, because they're not really a notable obstacle, admittedly, but the cheaps that would like swim through. I think they were a nice touch, and I think they could have just made it like a more prominent obstacle of some sort. Because the problem with 7 was they would either swim past by the time you even get there, or like they were literally too high. I think they were too high to actually hit you sometimes. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential in having a pair of cheap tubes swimming through that tunnel. There's one at the forefront, one on each side. So you need to like turn past the one and turn past the other as they swim on through. I think there's a ton of potential in that obstacle, and they're gone. They're gone, and I guess the replacement's supposed to be anti-grav thing, but obviously that's not an obstacle. I like how the spinners are like Cooper shell shaped, though. It's still the best tunnel, in my opinion. The half pipe adds a turn, and obviously being anti-grav is very charming. So I still prefer it to other versions. I just think that it could have been better. I think there's a lot more potential in going with that half tunnel route, because I'm one of the few people who actually prefer it being a half tube. I don't like I mean, don't like is not the right word for it, because it's still cool. Of course, it's an iconic part of the track, the tunnel. And it's a full tunnel, so like you're blocked up from the water flowing. 7 changed it because underwater is a new gimmick, which made so much sense to me, right? That's why I thought it was cool. I always think it's cool, and I still think it's cool now. And it's more engaging having the half pipe and the spinners. You know that technically is an obstacle, but of course the cheap tubes weren't a good obstacle. That's what I'm saying. They should have just reworked them. But yeah, we've had like these zappers, and if you would touch them, you'd shrink like lightning. I wonder why they were removed. It's almost like that's fucking ridiculously stupid. If you get hit by one of them, then you're fucked. You're just shocked. Like, no. So that's the reason why they're gone. And also, I think being underwater is just one, cooler, and two, it's more unique because when you're going to the tunnel, you're going down like this flowing waterfall, which like speeds you up when you're driving on it, and you can also not go on it to get like boxes and whatnot, so you lose some speed in exchange for that. So that section feels much more stand out because the running waterfall gimmick only applies to that section, and it makes the tunnel section more distinct afterwards. Because the rushing water, you already get that in the previous section, so you might as well mix it up. So yeah, I have no issues with it just being a completely flooded tunnel. I just wish, the half light could jump out of the wall, which I nearly did one time. I think the camera actually was out the water. Maybe it's possible, depending on how you go there, but naturally you're not supposed to jump out the water. But it might be possible. I might experiment that. If it is, then that's cool. But yeah, I wish you'd come out the water every time, basically. But yeah, the rest of the track, that section I mentioned, the Russian water, is perfect. It's just like the wee one. The half pipe at the end is also there, and the same for the waterfall. For the finish, like everything outside the tunnel being different, like everything is faithful. Everything is there. That affects gameplay, right? And even then, visually, the only thing that's missing is like the signs, the Cooper sign, and like the specific ads. But the ads were never going to be there because they have their own set of ads, like the Red Show one. Because in Wii, and I think 7 as well, you just have like the renders of like a paratrooper and a Cooper trooper for the signs. So yeah, I'm fine with them being different. Especially when one's just the showers, I said. Although the other's like sunshine parts, that's a bit random. But yeah, not having the Cooper sign there is a bit of a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. Like the theming is still like a Cooper theme because you got like the Cooper shell huts and stuff, and of course the tunnel. So it's still a really lovable theme, and the music fucking slaps. And they have music for like 3 different portions of the track, like the rushing water bit, the tunnel, and just the rest of the track where you're on like the cliffside bit. It's fantastic. It's still my favorite Wii track for sure. Despite my like design complaints, it's still the best looking version of the track. It's still the best playing version of the track. It goes up here for sure. And I don't know compared to the other 2 Wii tracks because I do prefer this one. Instead of being a remake, Mushroom Gorge Perk that combines both versions. Keep Game kind of does that, and then kind of does its own thing with the tunnel. If it was trying to be the other one, then you'd have the glide ramp, and you'd have the cheaps, I feel. Again, like stuff like that. It's great, it's a great remake, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect in terms of its potential, I feel. So I don't know. But like, if we're looking at just what Wii track do I prefer, like, Cooper Cape's up here. But I feel like these 2 were remade better. So I'll give him points for that. It's a top 5 regardless. It's fantastic. You know I do have some criticism. And that might just be because how much I love Cooper Cape. My original tier list with all the tracks, it is 2nd place, I believe. It's behind 3DS Rainbow Road. Like, I really love Cooper Cape. It's such a fantastic track. And I love it here. I love it here, despite, of course, the criticism I mentioned. It's still great. Next is Vancouver Velocity. It exists. It exists. Okay, so my first problem is the wave they put it in. This is very clearly a winter theme track, and I mean, it was planned for Wave 6. I get why it's pushed forward because they don't have, like they just released Rome of Vanity. Like, they don't have any other city tracks ready yet. However, you should have put in Wave 3 in that case. I don't know. It's weird. Again, it doesn't particularly matter, but also the cup placement, it should not be a cup ender, I feel. Because Elapse is the section track. Section tracks they always end cups, and this one starts it. It just felt out of place to me. And when I play or whatever, trying new tracks, you brace them in order, you know. So Vancouver being at the end is kind of like, that's an underwhelming finish, admittedly. But again, a standalone track, it's good. It's a good city track. It's solid. It's like I don't know. I think it's like a lower town city ones. It probably makes it a great tier. I think there's a lot of like good bits. Like, I mean, the first lap's fantastic because you go to like this Vancouver park, and there's like this bridge which is anti-grav. You don't see much anti-grav actually. It's just in the Cooper Cape Tunnel, and this bit here outside the half pipes. But there's a more of just a cosmetic thing where it's like, hey, your half pipes, it's happening because of anti-gravity. That's just a visual thing. But I don't mind. I find using anti-gravity sparingly in these DLC tracks. But yeah, it really fits the section. And they didn't really make the bridge much wider, which I like because it's fucking crazy. You can fall off so easily. It's very intense. It's a very weird thing is, my only real play is you only go there once. It's such a good bit, and it's just a track opener. It's just on lap 1, and it's like, what? Why? And then after that, like you go into like the main city, and there's like a bit where you're kind of driving through a generic park. This is where like it starts to blend in with other cities for me. It's like, oh, it's just being a city track now. Because that's what makes the other tracks really stand out to me when they have other stuff going on outside of the city. And it's I don't know. It's, you go over to Slug Park, but something I do really like though is like this is very hidden shortcut past this wall, which I don't know why the water is out of bounds, which isn't clear because Nintendo, you guys know that going underwater is a gimmick in the game now. You can't just have it be out of bounds for touching the water. LA Labs is fine with it. You're not meant to go into the sea, but you can like go a bit into it. It's not like if you touch it, you're just out. So I thought that was weird. You should have just fenced it off at that point. Because it's not like an obstacle where you get knocked in the water. It's just there. And I thought that was awkward. But yeah, like past it is like instead of going to the glide ramp, you can just mushroom through this bit. And it's such a very unique shortcut. I really do like that one. But if you take that or if you glide, I think you can miss the glider as well. It's interesting. There's a lot going on. Either you're going into this arena, you're going into this like ice rink space. There's like these Shy Guy, like the ones from Sherbetland, the ones that are skating together. And they're much bigger obstacles than this one because it's a smaller, more compact space. I'm just trying to get the boxes that are following them around, which gives me Peach Garden's Chainsaw 5, which the Chainsaws don't work like that in this game. But yeah, I really like that. I really like that you go around. One thing that was a bit jarring at first, it isn't on replays though, so I won't talk points from it for this, but you actually go to like the top left, you don't go through the front exit, which surprised me, but I think it was good because it leads to the last lap. And in this lap, you basically go for like this tunnel bit, this off-road thing. I like that. And you basically loop back around to go back in the arena because it's such a good section, but it's so short. So they made the right move, making you go back through it because it's like, hey, you'll fucking appreciate this part of the track. And I sure do. And this time you go out the main exit. So I thought that was a really clever way to add on to the track, extend it a bit. And then, yeah, you just go for a save it and you finish the race. That's the thing. When I mention parts of the track that aren't like just the city area, like they are fantastic, but I feel like there's just so much that's just there. This, like when you're just driving on the regular roads of the city, it doesn't really stand out to me, and even that park bit doesn't really stand out to me. With like until you get to that like shortcut which leads into the arena. So yeah, it's not. I'm not crazy about it. I only really critique it for this because it was a very overhyped course. I feel, even then, a lot of people have this track, and a lot of people are fans of the track. They really love it, and fair enough. I don't see what's in it that makes it better than other city tracks, though. Again, it's not bad, absolutely not, but it's definitely at the bottom here. I feel. Probably above London. Probably put it behind movie. I don't know. Well, let's figure this out now that we've done this wave. Bangkok. I don't know. I don't know how we order these for. Because Vancouver over Berlin, I don't know if I do that. Berlin's one that, yeah, you just kind of run a city for most of it, but I mean, you have like traffic going on, it's quite stand out for that. Like older parts of Berlin I like, but there's nothing that's especially crazy, except for the fact you can do the Womp shortcut. But that's only on 200cc. So yeah, but I mean, I'd put it over Bangkok now that I mention it. I put Berlin over Bangkok. Murray Mountain. I don't know if any go past Murray Mountain. Murray Mountain's one I'm not crazy about. I think it's definitely on the more simple side, and the aesthetics pull it up to great. Yeah. I just want to change it. Again, it feels weird bundling the city tracks together. That doesn't feel right, but I don't know how else to rank them. I think Vancouver stays here. It beats London. London's like far more great. I think just about makes it great because it does some good stuff, like the chain charms coming unchained. There's a lot of off-road stuff that I really like. So yeah, I think it gets to great. Paris I do really like. It actually is one of my favorite stage tracks. But I can't make a case to actually put it amongst the other ones because the deals like have lap changing stuff and whatnot. I can only really put it down here. And, yeah, and then I'm probably reaching saying it's New York Minute, but whatever. Maybe I put Paris at the top. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it more, but I think Solid Track is the best fit for Paris, so I'll put it at the top. I'm going to go on an hour now, so I've got the full thing. Again, maybe some stuff could be alternated. I feel a lot of stuff is interchangeable, just change depending on what mood I'm in. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this order for now. But yeah, stuff will probably shift around. We'll get a definitive one, Wave 6 coming, which might be in November. I don't know, because this is July and Wave 2 came out in August, so maybe this month early, even for Wave 6. But I don't know. But yeah, let me check. Oh yeah, I mean, we got five. We got five tracks from Wave 5 in the best. Yeah, the other three are much lower down on the list, but they're obviously still good. So that's interesting. That probably is the most. I mean, let me check. I mean, Wave 4, we got Yosh Design, we have DK Summit, we have Amsterdam. Yeah, just three. I say just three, that's still a lot. Wave 2, what we got? Mushroom Gorge, Snowland. Yeah, Wave 3 has a lot, actually. Free Australian Road, Rock Mountain, Maple Treeway. Oh no, it just says free again. It just says free. Wave 1 is 1, 2, 3. Free again. Free again. Am I missing something? Yeah, I think audio was just a free. I think they just have free. So yeah, Wave 5 has the most tracks I put in top tier. So when I'm looking at that, like, yeah, it probably is the best wave. I guess the only thing I'm maybe not thinking that is because, of course, I'm not like especially keen on like Moonview, Vancouver, and Sunset. They're quite lower down in my Boost Force Pass ranking. But yeah, the other five, like stellar. They are perfect tracks, pretty much. So I'm happy with this wave. Wave 6. I'm Wave 6 will top it. I've been prepared for a while that Wave 6 won't be my favorite wave. I'll obviously enjoy it when it comes out. But I just think stuff like We Rainbow Road still coming. That's a track I don't care about at all. I don't know if I'm in a double dash track situation, but I'm quite worried we're not getting down in general. Or Mushroom Bridge. I don't know. Because that's what I want. Don't know Mushroom Bridge. I don't know if we're getting either. I mean, the new tracks you got the Piranha ones. Those are solid. I mean, I really like Cove. Fight Wave's okay. If they make the Pilot Centigrade, that'd be cool. Presumably those are the two we get. I know people are saying, well, they're both Piranha Plant themed, but I don't think there's another new track coming for a while anyway. And that's the thing to keep in mind with Tor. I assume Tor's going to keep pumping out content after the Boost Course Pass, so I don't think this will actually have all the Tor exclusive courses, weirdly enough. Unless they, like, intentionally stop doing the cities and the new ones for the sake of that. Because I mean, they're putting all the ones available in this DLC, and I feel that has to be intentional for having them all in the main game. So I don't know, man, they keep going, because Tor surely isn't dying by the end of this year. Absolutely not. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, I am very happy with Boost Force Pass. I mean, the top, the best tier has the most tracks. That says it all, really. Thank you for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.